guys, it's Marielle. Welcome back to my channel, Friday Night Light Reviews, where we do reactions and reviews to TV shows, movies, and other digital content. So you already know what I'm going to ask you guys, so go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I will upload new content to the channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Please share the video with your friends and family. Have everybody that you know come on over to the channel and become a part of the Friday Night Light family. To all my new subscribers, welcome and thank you. And to everybody who clicked on this video just because of the link or because you saw the girl with the New York fitted hat on, since you're already here, won't you go ahead and click that subscribe button. So, as always, today we're going to be reviewing the Starz original series called Run the World, which comes on every Sunday. So today we're going to be reviewing and reacting to episode 1 and 2. First episode called Phenomenal Woman, and the second episode is called Because ADOS. So let's just talk about the plot before we really get into anything. So the plot of the show is it's a story of a group of black women who work, live, and play in Harlem, which is awesome because that's where I grew up, not in Harlem, but in New York and South Jamaica, Queens. They strive for world domination and not only surviving but thriving together. The show is created by Lee Davenport, and it's starring Amber Stevens, Andrea Bardot, Brisha Webb, and Carbon Reed. And so the four characters we have are Whitney, Ella, Renee, and Sandy. So they are four women, like I said. One is married, two are single, and the last one, Whitney, she is engaged to be married. So without further ado, you already know we're going to talk about pros and cons, what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, what we're expecting as this series goes on and grows. So let's just jump right into it. So with the first episode, Phenomenal Woman, the first episode basically was just an introduction to all of the characters. We have Whitney, who is a big corporate employee. She works with IPOs and things like that, and she's engaged to be married. Then we have Renee, who is already married. We have Ella, who was once this huge journalist / author, but things happened to not go her way, and now she has to humble herself and work for another, even though high-end journalist company. Then we have Sandy, who is working on her PhD right now. I believe it's in Black Studies and Black History, and they're all involved. So with that first episode, it does encompass what, that Maya Angelou poem was, A Phenomenal Woman. So right out the gate, I do like that that it's taking place in New York, and I know that's because I grew up there, and it's a great place to grow up. It's a great place to be, depending, what you're there for, but that's beside the point. Second big thing that I love about this series so far, just off the introduction, that it's four strong black women. And it's not just those typical movies where if it's black girls, we got the strung out one, the stupid one, the Ritz one, or the trust fund baby or whatever. All of these women are equally yoked, and I love that. They all have their issues, they all have their problems, but what woman doesn't? And I just like that it takes us down this path through different visuals of each woman. And yes, they deal with struggles and they deal with things that, maybe we shouldn't be doing and things that we ought to do, but we're scared to do. Just out the gate, I really love that about this show. And yes, that was all that I took just from that first episode. There are some parts in the first episode that are quite funny. We have Renee, who's like a busy, on the go. She's in the bodega, waiting for her bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. And there's this lady who keeps bumping her, and she's on the phone with her friend. And she just busts out and says, look, you can't rush past me. I'm a phenomenal woman, phenomenally. And everybody's looking at her like crazy. So the show definitely centers around humor. There's some dark humor. There's some humor about reality that, we have to find that funny. We have to find that humor in it, or, we would just curl up in a ball and cry. So that was pretty much the first episode. They did introduce everybody, so we didn't get to see Renee's husband, but we do know Ella has some definite skeletons in her closet. There is a reference that the character named Anderson, who is very good looking, is her big, and she's Carrie. And if anybody don't know that reference, that's a Sex and the City reference. And if you've seen the show, we know that Carrie, that was her kryptonite. Big was her kryptonite, and Anderson is Ella's, and she's dealing with that, trying not to fall victim to the same stuff, fall back into business as usual, and then definitely trying to find her way to like tuck her tail in, because she had to go back to a company that she did quit to lead this huge bestseller author lifestyle. Then we have Sandy, who is in a relationship, blended relationship, not married, but she's with a guy who has a daughter. Here comes her little struggles too. The guy she's with also is her advisor, who is basically helping her through getting her PhD. So we know that there's some issues there. The show is definitely like, I know some people may say like, why are you saying it like that? And I do, forgive me. I really like that it's not like in your face, falling under that stereotypical black women are aggressive and they're loud and they angry and they always say, woe is me and you don't understand my plight. They don't do that. But it shows that they're fighting these stereotypes. They're fighting not being labeled aggressive and angry and have an attitude and say blah, 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 blah. They are dealing with that with each segment of the first episode. And I love that they're breaking it down in the reality as a black woman. Definitely this is a great show for young and old alike, because we can see ourselves in each character. It's basically, don't come for me, just let's talk about it in the comments. It's definitely giving me Sex and the City vibes, but how it would look like through a black woman's eyes. You know what I mean? Everybody's successful. Everybody is striving to what we all striving for. Not world domination as we would see it as a negative, but to basically live our best lives, to live our best selves, and live up to the fullest capacity of who we are. Like the best line that I have, if anybody watches like the BET and when Erykah Badu does the Cypher, when Brandy was like, when people say sky's the limit, then buy a cloud, that's basically, which was a dopest line, but that's basically what this show is about. Like, we're going to keep reaching. We're going to pierce the ceiling and go as far as we can. And Sex and the City was more dealing with the relationship status with a little bit of career. This is vice versa. Yes, it's very sexual. Yes, the first opening scene in the first episode, we see Sandy getting that little pipe action or whatever. But don't let that deter you to think that it's just a black woman Sex in the City, because like I said, it is in a reverse. Trust me. It's more about careers, more about learning who they are at the ages they are and still striving for the best. So that's what I love about the first episode. The first episode didn't really do anything major. Like I said, it was just an introduction to everybody. Now let's get to the second episode, which is called Because ADOS. Please forgive me, I did write it down, but I can't remember where I wrote it down. That is an acronym. But so we go into where, coming off the first episode, so Sandy had an argument with her boyfriend. He felt like she stepped over her bounds with his daughter. She made her these beautiful brown ballerina slippers. And don't get me wrong, in that first episode, I understood where Sandy pulled the daughter out of the ballet. And yes, she should have talked to the father. And yes, she should have sat down and explained to his daughter why she felt the way she felt. They were already over sexualizing this little girl, talking about here's a pamphlet for nutrition because let's get ahead before she gets that black girl body. And she just straight went ham. She didn't curse her out or anything, but she took her out, and the boyfriend was like, look, you know, you acting like a child. And she said, oh, I'm a child, but yet I pick up your daughter. I take her to her lessons. I make sure that she feels confident in who she is, never worrying about anything. I'm stepping into a role that her mother stepped out of, and we're not even married, but I'm a child. And I totally agree with that. Like, you can't have it both ways, you know? Yes, did she step over a boundaries? I think she did. But there's that comment from him was not necessary. So to kind of make up for it, here comes the comedic side of this episode. She said, you know, I decided to do something different in the bedroom, and she tried to stimulate his perineum, which, grown up talk, is where you like kind of stimulate. It's between the scrotum and, well, take it back. She decided to milk his perineum, and he ended up passing gas on her face. Freaking hilarious. And she got pink eye. But it's nice that they're trying to work it out. They didn't really go into that in this episode. It was really focused on Ella, Whitney, and Renee. Now, here comes the biggest discussion of this series, right? So far, it's only 2 episodes, and I'm saying series. But Renee was having, being intimate with her husband, and she tried to do something cool and do a reverse cowboy, and she ended up kicking him in his head. And basically, he bitched up. So they get into this huge argument, and she tells her friends, okay, I'm getting a divorce. I'm leaving my husband because I'm trying to make it work and it's not working. So you figure they let us know what's going on in their relationship. And basically, her husband quit his high-end job to chase his dream to be a band manager. But Renee is, holding everybody down. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to think I'm against that, because I'm not. Me and my husband, there was a time where I was chasing my dreams, going to college, doing what I needed to do. And he held us down with our daughter and our daughters. Okay. And there was a time where he wanted to pursue his dreams too. And then I took reign and I held us down. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that when you're pursuing a goal, but him, it's different. He's pursuing a goal, but it's been a long time and nothing has been happening yet. Nothing has been moving forward. Now, this is how I feel. And y'all can tell me what you think in the comments, whether a man or a woman. And I know the big thing is, and with the episode, it's coming from a Black woman talking to her Black husband. There's one thing of me believing in your dreams and me not having a problem doing what we need to do and putting shit on hold. But if you're not making some type of leadway into that dream, we're going to have to discuss what comes next. We can't just keep going. You got to check in with me. And that's not what he was doing. And that's basically what Renee was saying. Yes, she said things that she shouldn't have said it in that way. She basically called his shit a joke. She basically was like, look, you got an MBA, I got an MBA. Like, we basically like Barack and Michelle. And this is what we need to focus on. There's so many different things that we discussed when we got married that we wanted to do. And yes, I understand you want to do your dream and all this other stuff. He's like, well, when we blow up, I'm not going to let you take a selfie with me. Now, this is a lot of time that happens in a relationship when it is Black man and Black woman. Someone, either the man or the woman, always deflects, because when you deflect, you know that your partner has a point, right? We've all done it. And now for him to keep his wife on board, he kind of was manipulating her by saying like, this is what's wrong with Black women. Black women don't understand the Black man. They don't understand the plight of the Black man and everything like that. That's bullshit in their case. I do understand the plight of the Black man. That's why when you told me you wanted to quit your job, guy, and I said, don't worry about it. I believe in you, and you go out and get your dream. That's me understanding you. That's me saying, I put all my trust in you. And I'll take the long nights. I'll take the long weekends. I'll take doing extra hours to make sure that we still live a life that we are accustomed to while you can do your dream. And not so I can fall back and quit my job because you're going to be like the next Puffy or DJ Khaled or Timbaland or whatever. No, what I'm saying is that once you get to your dream, that makes me happy. And I know I did the right thing. But then when you start trying to use the excuse of you don't understand the black man's plight, and then this fool was like, yo, this is what's the problem with black women. It goes back to slavery. Like, you want the man to make money. Basically, the white man took the black man out the house and told the black woman that she didn't need the black man and that everything is about money and everything is about right now that microwave lifestyle. Now, do I agree with some of the points he made? Absolutely. But you cannot use that against your wife who's been holding it down and not complaining until just now her lid popped, and say that you're just like what the white man decided to do, and that was to remove the black man out of the household to make the black woman feel that she is sustainable on her own. That is very true, but not in this case. Then he does something that blows my mind. They have a savings, a fund, a stocks and bonds where they put everything and anything, right? This dude was like, we're invested. And she's like, when you say we, what you talking about? I use some of our investment money. And she's like, how much? This man used all of it, y'all. He used every single penny of their stock and investment fund on a band that has still not yet provided any fruit. This man is using the money for studio time, for buses, for hotels, for photo shoots. Where's the fruit? Now again, this goes back. Women, let me not say all women, some women do not mind taking on that role to see their husband, their boyfriend, however your dynamic is, to make sure that you live your dream and that you are absolutely positively happy in your life. Because if you're happy and I'm happy, that's why I like the term happy spouse, happy house, not happy wife, happy life. Because that just basically says you don't give a shit about the husband, you don't give a shit about the man. As long as I'm happy as a woman, our life and our home would be satisfactory. And I don't believe that. But when you don't come to me, that means you don't trust me. That means you don't believe that I still believe in your dreams, to the point where you go behind my back and you empty out our account for someone else and there's no fruit being produced. So she basically was like, yo, you bugged the fuck out. Miss me with that shit. I'm sorry for the cursing. But it's like, you can't claim something on someone and then do the same thing, but even worse, by spending the money that was together saved for something you wanted. That's like, she could have said, look, we don't have to be married anymore. You could do you, I'ma still do me, and then when you get your dream together, then come back around and we can get remarried and we can get together. And she didn't do that. She believed in him and she believed in their marriage. Once you do shit behind your spouse's back, that means you don't believe, you don't trust them, and there's other things going on. And that was like the huge point of this episode, which bleeds into Whitney, who in the first episode had a one-night stand with someone and she was happy about it, but then she felt conviction about it at the end, and now she's super paranoid. But her husband, her fiance, he is African, has a huge family, and she has this real nervous thing that she's not going to be able to live up to the potential of his family. And I think that doesn't matter if your fiance is African or rich or whatever. I think when that happens, there's some type of disconnect between the man and the woman. We always want to be assured that you're always going to have our back as wives, Just like the man would like to be assured that you're always going to have his back when it comes to the husbands, when it comes to your father and the fiance's mother, right? We all have this nervousness, and we always just want to make sure that everybody's being treated equally, and knowing that once we get married and we say I do, we become our own unit, we become our own family. And that's that fear that we have, and that's what the fear that Whitney has in this, to the point where she tells her friends she doesn't think she wants to be married anymore. And I think that fear and that nervousness and that not knowing how she feels, because this is a guy she's been with since college, so she hasn't had any experiences with different boyfriends, different things. So she, on one hand, she's got that fear, and then the other hand, she's got that fear that a lot of people have. Am I missing out? Should I sow my oats somewhere else because I've only been with this one guy or this one woman? And then we get to Ella, who is basically trying to not go back to Anderson, not even mess or talk to him. Yes, she's doing it in a very toxic way by sleeping with other people to get herself and her mind off of that. And to me, yeah, I think it is toxic. You don't want to keep giving pieces of your soul to somebody because you're afraid to face the facts that you may still have feelings with them, and you may be weak. You may be weak and not be able to stand up to the guy or the woman that you still need time for. And that's where, we got to talk it out. That's why we have friends. Don't be afraid to say what you need to say. And she finally admitted that in that last scene of the episode 2. The funny bit about it all, she was intimate with a non-person of color, and he used a word that is normally used by a non-person of color, and she's used to hearing that appendage be called something else by most people of color. And I'm trying to be PC, guys, forgive me. So she tells her friends about it, and they're like, you don't watch porn? And she was like, I watch black porn. And they were all like, nah, I can't get with it. They was like, it's always a low budget. It looks like somebody shot it in MC Hammer's old 1990s mansion. And Whitney was like, plus I can't watch it where there's the black guy who got on white socks or black socks. Why? He giving it in to the girl. And I thought that was super funny. And that is a huge difference between black porn and regular porn. So she just was like, I felt, this is where I don't necessarily agree with this part. She said it felt a little bit slavey, like being intimate with a white man. And that part I don't necessarily agree with. Now, if your preference is just to stay within your race, that's your preference. But I don't think if you step out of especially with black women, or even black men, if you step out of your race and you're being intimate with that person, be it a white person, it's not slavey how some people say it is. The heart wants what it wants, period. But that's the part I did not agree with in that episode. I don't think being intimate outside of your race, especially if it's white, you should feel guilty. And she was like, in my mind, I felt like Harriet Tubman was like, Ella, you go and get out of here before they, chase you down. And be it all that it was super funny, and I'm sorry guys, I can't laugh, surgery, but be it all that it was funny, I didn't agree with that. I can't get on the train with when it comes to topics like that. But overall, guys, I am really feeling this series. Yes, I know it's only 2 episodes so far, but I'm like where it's going. I like the characters. I like what they represent. And no, we're not going to agree with everything that they say or disagree with everything they say, but that's the point, right? So that's it, guys. So far, with these 2 episodes, I definitely think you guys should go check out the series called Run the World. It's on Starz. It comes on Sundays. Definitely go check it out. If you like Sex in the City, if you like Girlfriends, you're definitely gonna like Run the World. So that is it for me, guys. I thank you for joining me, and I know this is a bit of a long video like my last one, but it was a lot to say about this topic. They do talk about race in this series as well. Definitely go check it out and then leave me the comments. I want to see if you're gonna wild out on that one scene in the second episode when Whitney and Ella are walking and something happens. Just hit me up in the comments and let me know if you got it too. So as always, you guys, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when new content is uploaded. Be safe and be courageous, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.